Okay, we are ready for smoke test number 1. I have the QCX PA, QCX power amplifier, and this resistor trimmer I have turned all the way anti-clockwise, counterclockwise. I have the MFJ 849 power meter, and I have the cell wave dummy load. I have no RF load connected, and I have no power connected. I'm going to turn on my ham radio workbench power supply. And then I'm going to take my power cord and we're going to look for smoke. Green light is on, that's a good sign. No power out is a good sign because there's no power in, there ain't nothing to amplify. I see no smoke. I smell no smoke. All right, smoke test passed. Okay folks, it gets deeper. This is jank test setup number 2. We have the QCX Mini powered by a pair of 18650 batteries, and you are listening to a very dirty MFJ speaker. That is cabled RF into the QCX amp, RF out into the MFJ 849 meter, which is then RF out to the cell wave dummy load. I do not have the keying cable plugged in yet. So let's see what happens. Key down 2 watts on this meter. That means we're passing RF through the amp without any keying. Let's see. I'm actually kind of afraid that if I plug this keying plug in, there we go, that was nice. 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 All right. I'm going to turn everything off and then plug it in and see what happens. QCX Mini is BNC'd into RF in, RF out to the meter, meter out to the dummy load. We've got a speaker, we've got battery power for the QCX, we have a iambic paddle set in straight key mode. We've got everything rolling. Now let's do the test. Oh, sorry, I also have the keying cable plugged in. That's this cable here, which then plugs in there. So if you plug it in while it's on, it causes all kinds of mayhem. I can kind of understand that. We'll go with that for now. So now I want to try and give it some drive. I want to excite it. Okay, that's good news. The TX light comes on like it should and goes off when I stop. So every time I hit the key, the TX light comes on, which is fantastic. So I am keying the circuit. Remember from before, we got about 1 watt of output, and now we're getting 0. So that means there's no drive on the amplifier, and that's what this trimmer resistor here is for. So I'm going to go into uber dangerous mode, and I'm going to put a metal screwdriver into there. Don't do that. Use a plastic one. I'm going to turn this up until we start getting some drive. Okay, so we're at 5 watts out. That is not the right amount of power out, but that is a good sign that we are, I don't know, 50% there? Okay, some of you eagle-eyed observers might have noticed that my SWR reading down here was 99.99, which is kind of ridiculous. This cable back here on the input was loose. Now, we are at 1 SWR, 0 reflected, as it should be for a dummy load, and we're putting out 8 watts. Nine watts. Okay. So there's a lot of things at play here, but so far I'm very happy. First off, this is not a full 12 volts powering the QCX, so the QCX is not putting out its full output power. Second, this is not running at 20 volts, which is its full output power. And as a result, you're not going to get a lot of drive. I think we should be getting more than 8 watts out, but I'm happy that everything's working. Now I can start doing some tuning and troubleshooting. All right, fellers, here's a thought for you. We fixed the SWR issue, and that bumped the wattage up to 8. I have unplugged the amplifier keying circuit, and I have unplugged the battery pack. This is 2X 18650 worth of power, which was putting out 1 watt. Now we're on 13.8 volts into the QCX. Let's see what kind of power we're putting out. 2 watts. Okay, so that's double the output power. Let's plug in the keying circuit again. Now, when we're driving the amplifier with 2 watts, what are we getting on the output? Oh boy, I'm liking that. So what that tells me is a couple of things. Number one, I need to do some power tuning on this, and I have a video coming out on that soon, because I also need to do the exact same thing to the QDX. And this amplifier will work with the QCX, obviously, and with the QDX. This is a 20 meter QCX. This is a 20 meter amplifier. I am happy. Okay, folks, now we're powered into an antenna. Let's see if we get any response on the reverse beacon network. There's a video right over here I think you will enjoy next. Maybe, eventually, it will be the one where we get all this powered up properly and get the right amount of voltage out. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.